My name is Aji, and welcome back to the What's Worth Watching channel, a channel for TV and film lovers who want real, agenda-free views on the latest releases. And in today's video, we're going to be taking a look at one of Apple TV Plus's best TV series that seemingly nobody is talking about, Slow Horses. Now, despite receiving massive critical acclaim every single season and being nominated for several Emmys, for some reason, it's gone under the radar for a lot of people. With the fourth season just finishing, I thought it was a good time to talk about the show and why you should be watching it. So, Slow Horses is an espionage-centered thriller about a group of MI5 agents who have been sent away from the park, which is MI5's main headquarters, and instead being sent to work at a building called Slough House. To be sent to Slough House, you've generally done something very wrong, or pissed someone off. Not enough for you to be sacked, but enough for the people in charge of MI5 to want you out of the way, where you can do the most mundane work imaginable. Because of this, the reputation of those who work at Slough House is rock bottom, hence the nickname Slow Horses. Despite being essentially sent far away for their careers to die, the Slow Horses do end up getting involved with some incredibly high-stake events, whether that be dealing with hostage situations, terrorism, or Russian undercover agents. This group of misfits is led by Jackson Lamb, who's played by legendary actor Gary Oldham, and unsurprisingly, he is absolutely brilliant in the role. He's undoubtedly the biggest highlight of the show, and has some of the best lines. His character, Jackson Lamb, is the worst manager you could possibly ask for. He's bad-tempered, doesn't give a shit about anything or anyone, and actively tries his best to get all of his staff to quit. Before being sent to Slough House, he had a reputation of being a really impressive spy. However, since leaving the park, he has completely let himself go. He doesn't shower, doesn't brush his teeth, drinks on the job, and shows nothing but apathy to almost everyone and everything. It's the type of role that needs an impressive performance to pull it off, and Oldham absolutely crushes it. He really is superb, and there's no surprise to see that he was nominated for Best Lead Actor at the latest Emmys. However, he's not the only strong performer, as the supporting cast are also impressive. Jack Lowden plays River Cartwright, a newcomer to Slough House, who makes for a great foil to Oldham's Jackson Lamb. They've got a completely different outlook to work, which causes a lot of friction between them. Then you've got Christopher Chung, who plays a character called Ho, who's basically the group's tech guy who's incredible when it comes to computers, but absolutely terrible when it comes to talking to people like an actual normal human being. He's so incredibly irritating to everyone he meets, but it does lead to plenty of funny interactions. In truth though, the entire supporting cast does a very good job. If you're a fan of British television, you'll be able to see how much of a throwback Slow Horses feels. Obviously, it largely takes place in England, but it's got a quintessentially British feel to it, despite Apple TV Plus being an American streaming service. Like, it would fit perfectly on the BBC, even down to its 6-episode season structure. And thankfully, it's not people pretending to be English, which always winds me up, because I'm sorry, but Americans can't do our accent properly. And it completely takes me out of the show every single time that I have to hear another bad English accent. Thankfully, Slow Horses feels authentically British. In fact, it reminds me a lot of Spooks, also known as MI5 Abroad, which was a fantastic spy drama from the noughties. However, Slow Horses has a lot more comedic elements, which was inevitable, considering most of the main characters are essentially bored misfits, trying their best not to kill each other. Although, whilst I do think the show is absolutely hilarious, I wouldn't quite call it a comedy, or even a comedy thriller, as tonally, it does take itself fairly seriously still. Like, you are supposed to give a shit about what's happening, but it's the characters and how they're written that allows the show to be so funny. The dialogue is brilliant, and basically every single episode, I'd find myself laughing at least a couple times. As I said earlier, Gary Oldham has plenty of fantastic lines that he pulls off so well. You can tell that he's having an absolute ball here, as he gets so many quotable lines. He's such a wonderful actor, but he generally doesn't do much TV work, so I was kind of surprised to see him doing this. especially a TV show that's on a streaming service. And don't get me wrong, I'm sure they gave him a huge bag of money, but I bet it was when he read the script that he decided that this was the right project for him, as it is really well written. A lot of credit needs to be given to Will Smith. No, not that Will Smith, but this one is the show's writer and showrunner, and he does a fantastic job with Slow Horses. In fact, his brilliant work led to him winning an Emmy for outstanding writing in a drama series for the third episode of season 3. This was an excellent episode, and undoubtedly one of the series' highlights. But I'd be lying if I said that I think it deserved it, as it beat out Shogun's Crimson Sky episode, which is genuinely one of the best episodes of television I've ever seen. Like, it is absolute perfection. But Shogun won plenty of Emmys anyway, so I'm glad that Slow Horses did get some recognition. Not all the credit can be given to series writer Will Smith though, as when researching the show, I found out that it's actually based on a book series by Mick Herron, which gave him a great foundation of content to adapt to the screen. So well done to both of them. But if the show's so good, and has received tons of praise from the people who have watched it, then why has it flown under the radar for most people? Well, I think it's quite easy to understand. The main reason for it is that it's on Apple TV+. Obviously, Apple is an absolutely massive company. Everybody knows them. However, they are still fairly new into the streaming market, and their entrance into it has been somewhat low-key. Apple isn't transparent when it comes to the subscriber count, so gauging the performance is largely based on estimates, but based on my research, it's been estimated that Apple TV Plus has around 25 million subscribers. And yeah, that's a lot of people, but when you compare it to other streaming services, it's nowhere near the most popular. In fact, it doesn't even make the top 10 for biggest streaming services. To the surprise of absolutely no one, Netflix is currently the biggest, with around 10 times as many subscribers as Apple TV+. But then you've got Amazon Prime, Disney+, and plenty of others, which dwarfs Apple TV when you compare them. So when you consider this, it makes a lot more sense why so many people haven't even heard of Slow Horses. Apple have gone for a quality over quantity approach. They don't have a massive catalogue like Netflix does, but almost every one of the shows has been really well received. For example, you've got Ted Lasso, which is a beloved show, Monarch: Legacy of Monsters, which got good reviews, and then my personal favourite is Severance, which is absolutely brilliant. If you're not watching that, then you definitely should be. I completely respect Apple's approach to the streaming service. They don't want to just splurge out crap, like Netflix has been known to in the past. But until I see a more consistent release of content, I won't be subscribing myself. Now don't ask me how I've been watching the stuff, because I'm not at liberty to discuss this. Overall, I really do believe that Slow Horses is one of the best modern spy shows. I've always loved this genre, whether that be shows like 24, Homeland, or Spooks, and I've got no problem with putting Slow Horses right up there with some of the best. I just wish more people had watched it, as it deserves a larger audience. If you enjoy this type of content, then I'd absolutely recommend giving it a shot. It gets 2 big thumbs up from me. So, if you've watched Slow Horses, what did you think of it? And what's the best spy series or film that you've ever watched? Let me know in the comments down below. Thank you for watching, and if you enjoyed the video, leave a like and subscribe for more. I'll see you next time for another video. Goodbye.